Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the WTCR Series. We are here at Brandon's Hatchway. I don't think we're allowed to put that on YouTube, though. I mean, you can't just put up people's hatchways on the internet like that without their consent. I am very attractive, and with me, as always, is noted somnambulist Michael Magus.
I mean, that's a big word, but I'm okay with it.
Just wait till you find out what it means.
Well, I mean, it was in The Expanse, the Weeping Somnambulist.
Correct.
So there you go. Anyways, we are here because, well, we're here covering the ESR TCR Winter Series, and we're here at Brands Hatch, which is the full GP layout, which is the first time I'm seeing the GP layout in Race Room. Previously, just the Indy layout was present. And I'm really excited to see how that goes. I note that while Mike Stockmill is not here, we do have the gun runner back. So there's Ryger Runyan currently on pole position with Brody Steen, Nicholas Swain, Gerardo Daval, and Andrew D rounding out the top five. Andrew D has had the most up and down season in a series I think I've ever seen. It's oh whoa Brody that's the wall, Brody.
It's comfortable.
But like Andrew D, we're talking about a guy who has had two really good rounds. Like he had a fantastic run at Watkins Glen despite a penalty, and he had a very solid run recently at recently, but you know, the terrible run at Bilsterberg, and just every round there's been like a bad race result where either he's made a mistake or bad luck has found him, and I'm really hoping we just see Andrew D have a nice, clean, solid race.
You boy D nice.
Rounding out the field, we got Sean Kenny, James Butler, Josiah Jerome, David Slute, Steve Davidson, Dennis Johnson, who might be using a controller today due to some wheel failures. I've been told that might be the case. We'll find out.
Delightful. I believe it's just pronounced Sloot. I
Slute.
I think, told Slute, but
you were the one that told me it was Slute.
Your boy, what's his name? Martin might have told me the wrong thing, or I might have just remembered the wrong thing.
All right, so Sloot it is. That just sounds lewd. We're in the warm-up phase here, where everyone's going to get their, any last-minute adjustments they need to bring to the table. Just checking if anyone's making their debut today, and it doesn't look like it.
Nobody's putting in the debut.
Everybody appears to be, regulars in the series. Notable absentees: Mike Stockmill's not here. No Luciano Ichazo. No Matt Spurl, no Liam Curtin, who've been doing some decent work, who did decent work in Bilsterberg, but they're not here again. Martin Edmonds is still out with an arm injury. I don't recall if he provided like more specifics beyond.
I believe he threw his shoulder out, giving himself a high five.
Well, I mean that would be a thing. No John Spriggs, so no Mole. In fact, a lot of people who were at the first round disappeared. I know that I was told that a lot of people had some lag issues with the server at round one. That might have chased some people off. I know Jack was venting to me when he was doing the stewarding for that particular round that he was trying to review lap one and was like, there are people teleporting around the track. How am I supposed to handle this? How am I supposed to get penalties when these things are happening? But
penalize them all.
So that may unfortunately have reduced the grid significantly. But that is the joys and the hardships of global racing.
New Globo Gym.
Congratulations to Rochelle Guerin, who came up with her best result in ESR of a 7th place in the GT Challenge at her home track of Kalami. And I'm just filling time here while we get towards the end of the warm up here. So Byron, feel free to help me fill time if you want.
How much woodchucks could an entire loaf of oak chuck if... No, it didn't work.
Mm.
I've come up with a new recipe.
Hit me.
What you do is you have your meatloaf, right?
Okay.
But you substitute in ground grains,
Okay.
and you call it wheat loaf.
Now, when you say you got your meatloaf, do you mean the meat or do you mean Mark Kelson?
I mean, I'd never actually referred to him by name for any reason, other than mockery.
I mean, he pretty much gives you the mockery with the meatloaf nickname. So
Correct, and just being who he is.
that's true. Should probably check in on him at some point because I was talking with Dirty Rob the other day, and Paul Veras from the old MMA YouTube days apparently died. So,
Who's he?
he was the British guy who we just laughed at because his predictions were just really, really bad, and he was kind of morbidly obese.
Huh. I don't really remember him that much. Sorry.
All right, here we go for race 1 of 3 at Brands Hatch GP with the TCR cars here, and the lights are red, 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 and that was a long hole, but we are green, and someone on the second row there, I think it was Nicholas Swain, got off to a terrible start. These cars do have launch control, so there is a little bit more of an involved process than you. Oh, God! Brody Steen is on his side and sliding into the wall.
Delightful.
I had Brody Steen down for a big day today because with Stop Mill gone and with Dennis Johnson on having technical problems. That's gonna hurt him though, but the car appears to have righted itself, and I don't want to say he looks okay, but he is continuing. Zarai Garunian
downgraded to only mildly attractive.
Zarai Garunian leads from Gerardo Daval, Andrew D up into third place, followed by Sean Kenny and Josiah Jerome. I'm just turning up my volume because it was a little bit quiet.
Yeah, the volume on this particular file is, shall we say, not boisterous.
Indeed, it is the Lincoln Co. 1-2. I don't remember Garunian running the Lincoln Co. in round 1. That may be a car swap, but I do not know. Somebody going very, very wide there. And one of the Hyundais coming up the inside. I think that's probably Richard DeRoche, who may have just gotten 2 for 1. I think he took Sloot and Butler in the same corner there. Very nice. One does not generally get past Mr. James Butler very easily, so that is very impressive. Sean Kenny running in 4th. I think he is he is not the lone Alfa Romeo today. In fact, there are 2 others, Steve Davidson and also Mauricio Delgado. They came out with the new liveries for the WTCR not too long ago. I should after this I'll throw them up to you, Byron. You can give us your thoughts.
That sounds sexy.
And in the meantime, Garunian, Daval, D, Kenny, Jerome, top 5 are making a getaway. Then there's a second group led by Davidson with DeRoche, Swain, Butler, Barker, and Sloot. Bad start for Nicholas Swain. We talked about that as Sloot is looking to get up the inside of the Honda of John Barker. He drives him really wide and off the track, and that stunningly, Barker's still hanging in on this. And admittedly, he does have the inside line into Hawthorne's, but Sloot has got it, and we have lost Bas Silstra from the proceedings. And it looks like Brody Steen also in the pit lane for some major repairs. But it looks like he intends to continue.
Are you telling me that you lost the boss?
The boss. Gotta ask Boss Silstra if he knows of Bossford.
I have to assume.
Then we can let him in on all the jokes.
I assume he was named after Bossford.
It's kind of like Pedro Magalesh. You got to know Vinny Magalesh because this just opens doors.
Yeah, otherwise we're just being mean to Pedro, and he doesn't understand why.
He doesn't
I'm
seem
not
to
actually
think...
I'm not actually calling you a fat Puerto Rican, Pedro. I just want to make that very clear.
I don't know if he gets the jokes, but he doesn't seem offended, so I assume he gets... If he doesn't get the specifics, he at least understands that it is in jest.
He's Brazilian. He knows who Vinny Magalesh is. I'm pretty sure they're cousins.
Apparently the Magalesh name is actually very, very common. For example, there's actually been 4 Mikel Azonas in the OC, all of them not related. So,
Well, not that they'll admit.
Side by side, David Sloot looking for another spot, and he again gets it into the big Surtees turn there. Surtees is a great overtaking area because it's very easy to get off, a little bit offline there. It looks like he didn't get through, actually, or Butler was overtaking Sloot after having lost a spot to Sloot. I'm not sure. Anyway, Sloot following Butler through Hawthorns and into the back section of the track.
For those about to rock, we salute you.
This track, I think, has more... Oh, there's a Alfa Romeo off the track there, and I think it's Steve Davidson, judging by the fact that he is plummeting through the order and Sean Kenny is not. So, process of elimination, Steve Davidson. Heavy damage there to the front. Meantime, Nicholas Swain, we know he's got a little bit more pace than he's shown. He's up on the tail of Richard DeRoche. It's been a bad day for Hyundai, who had 2 cars in the top 3 at the start. Neither of them are there now after Brody Steen barrel rolled the thing, and Nicholas Swain kind of blew the start and fell back to 7th place. They still got Swain and DeRoche trying to get them something here, though. And they also lost Bas Silstra. As DeRoche loses a spot to Nicholas Swain. I think Swain's got a lot of forward momentum capability. Like I said, qualified P3, just did not get the start right, which is fair enough. These launch control can be tricky. Scott Nick looking to get past John Barker and get up into the top 10. Right now, reverse grid pole belongs to Mauricio Delgado, and Scott Nick has got it.
Ha-cha-cha.
The Lincoln Co's are doing very well today. They have 5 cars in the top 10. So they're doing very, very solid. I mean, admittedly, we're down to 16 cars effectively running. Brody Steen may have rejoined the race. So it might be actually 17, but he is 2 laps down. So, no disrespect to Brody Steen. I don't think he can make up that ground in the remaining time.
Well, you think he's just making stuff up? Man, I think you're questioning his veracity.
Making up is in the catching ups.
Oh.
David Sloot we are on board with as he heads to the Jim Clark curve, trailing James Butler. This track has more turns named after world champions than I think any other track. Because, of course, you've got the Jim Clark curve, named after the 1963-1965 F1 champion. You have got Surtees, named after the multi-time motorcycle champion and 64 Formula 1 champion, as Sloot goes for it again into Druids. They get a little bit of side-by-side action there, but I think with the inside line into the next corner going to... Yep, there it is. It's like going into Graham Hill Bend, going to James Butler. Graham Hill, of course, 2-time F1 world champion, has a corner named after him on this circuit. Hawthorne, that's Mike Hawthorne, the first ever British F1 world champion, as David Sloot is going for it again. And again, James Butler rebuffs his advances as they head towards Hawthorne.
Yeah.
Ooh, I was gonna say I want to get on board with David Johnson. I want to see if we're dealing with a controller or a wheel. Judging by his position, I suspect controller as he loses a spot there is Steve Davidson after getting a little sideways.
He is in fact using an
That was a heck of liberal track limit use by James Butler there to hold off David Sloot. And they are being caught by their Lincoln Co. Brand mate Scott Nick. So we'll see what happens there. Top 5 have been pretty stagnant. Still pretty far ahead. Grunian's pulling away. He's got up to a 3.2 second lead. And Sloot again trying to get through a Paddock Hill Bend. I think he might have done it this time because he's got the inside line, I think. No, he doesn't. Okay, Sloot is 69, the Ehrlacher car. And it is Butler in the number 11. Not sure who that is in real life. Round the outside at Surtees. Can Sloot get the job done? Nope. Forced wide again by James Butler. And it's the Andy Priaulx car. There we go. So Sloot versus Butler. I think this is pretty much the most interesting fight on the track. The next closest gap is Scott Nick, who is right behind these guys. So, you know, also in this fight. And the representatives of Lincoln Co. are probably crossing their fingers, crossing their toes, and crossing anything else possible that their cars do not take each other out. And head towards Jim Clark curve. Still Butler hang on against Sloot and Nick. Andrew D on the attack against Gerardo Del Val. That gap closed very quickly, and Del Val lost a lot of ground to the leaders. I think Gerardo has made a mistake and is now getting severely pressured by D. Kenny and Double J, Josiah Jerome. Kenny looking down the inside, but nothing doing there. Scott Nick all over the back of David Sloot.
Giggity.
Brody Steen is running again. He's unlapped himself from Zach Wolf. Still lapped down. But major repairs have been conducted on the Hyundai, and Steen is back out there running around, trying to make the best of this he can. Oh boy! Sloot very off the track, Butler off the track, and Scott Nick just got a 2-for-1. Sloot dropping back further. He's going to lose spots to Steve Davidson. Or no, that's Mauricio Delgado, I do believe. As well as John Barker. Dennis Johnson in that mix. Steve Davidson in that mix, although Davidson is carrying significant damage. Sean Kenny running in 4th place.
And Dan.
Well, then it's Josiah Jerome, although it oh! Sean, that's not the track, Sean.
You're not supposed to headbutt stuff.
It's not good for the health of the car. Aggressive, but solid rejoin, actually. Oh, no! I think something is wrong with the car.
Gotta go for stuck in the intake.
That car is not behaving properly, and Nicholas Swain is also going to take advantage and move into the top 5. Meantime, David Sloot on the tail of Mauricio Delgado. Sloot's got a reverse grid pole. That's not a terrible place to be. But,
Does he come up with a firm solution?
but I'm sure he's not terribly happy with how this race has gone right now. Oh, Sloot getting very wide again. And that might cost him 12th place. Steve Davidson looking down the inside and gets it in the Alfa Romeo. Butler on the attack against Scott Nick. Although I think the cork in this bottle might actually be the Hyundai up front there, Richard DeRoche, because I think Scott Nick caught him and then got caught by Butler, and Butler does actually get the job done and moves into 8th place. That was a nice pass by the Brit here on home soil.
Needs to check Butler's coffee for meth. Or maybe PCP.
Looking down the inside, can't get a move done. DeRoche goes quite wide, but will have the inside to Graham Hill Bend. Oh boy! I was going to say that was going to go really badly. Scott Nick gets into the back of DeRoche. Butler says thank you very much and moves up. John Barker might also be able to get something done here. In fact, it looks like he's going to get Scott Nick for 9th place. Also in the mix there, Mauricio Delgado. Looks like the ping is holding up a lot better for Mauricio today. It's nice to see. Quality racer, sometimes limited by his own his own country's internet.
Sounds like it's time to secede from the Union.
He's not American.
Well, there's some kind of Union.
I don't think so.
Well, you can't prove that.
I mean, I probably could, but I'm not going to. Even I am not that determined. Nicholas Swain, by the way, has moved up into 4th place, having overtaken Josiah Jerome. Interesting collection of flags up at the top there. We got a Ukrainian leading from a Mexican, a Canadian, a Belgian, Trinidad and Tobago, the UK. Then it is Kenny. I think Kenny's got a problem because he's drifting around. Makes me think that there's an internet issue there for him. Either that or he's stuck at the side of the road somewhere.
He's fine. He's just having fun.
I doubt that. I think he's dropped back. He's dropped back to 15th place apparently. John Barker down the inside of Richard DeRoche into Surtees, but that gives the inside line for Barker into Hawthorne's if he wants it. Although he just completely zipped past Barker there. So DeRoche looks like he's got some great straight line speed, but he's a little bit shaky in the corners. And the beauty of that is that people have got to, somehow get past him with a straight line deficit. As Barker loses a spot there to Scott Nick, who is going to say, "Let me take a crack at this Hyundai." Oh no, wait, where's Richard? There's a cloud of smoke at the side of the road. Richard is dropping through the order. Oh no! Looks like he got super out of shape in the Sheen curve. And drops down to 14th place. Ouch. That car not looking super healthy right now. I think this is Martin Edmonds giving us some manual camera control, actually. So it is Garunian, Delval, D. They've had a fairly quiet day since the start, actually. Running top 3 pretty much the whole way. Swain, Jerome, Butler, Nick, Delgado, Davidson, Sloot, Johnson, Johnson, Hutchison, DeRoche, Kenny, Wolf, and Steen are still running in that order. Oh no, one of the Alfa Romeos, I think it's Davidson, gets clouded in the backside by Sloot. And Sloot's going to move up as a result of that into 10th place. Not sure if that was Davidson slowing too much through Surtees or Sloot being a little bit cheeky and letting it roll as Sloot getting that back end very loose. Seeing a lot of almost drift style like rallycross taking of some of the fast curbs here around Dingledale and Sheen.
Was this about a dingleberry?
There's a corner named Dingledale.
Dingle in the dale, the dingle in the dale.
So stick with us here. We got an excellent battle here that goes from about 7th place back to 11th and could easily re-involve Steve Davidson and Richard Roche and Sean Kenny before it's done. Maybe Wayne Hutchison. Nick and Barker got a little bit of breathing room there. Sloot looking down the inside of Delgado, but Delgado covers it off. Or does he? Sloot dives down into Druids, but actually doesn't work out for him. Not only does he not overtake Delgado, but Dennis Johnson says, thank you very much. I'll take that top 10.
Sounds pretty gangster to me.
Jonathan Barcadero running in 8th place.
Juanito Barcador.
Man, Johnson is all over the tail of Delgado to a ridiculous level there. Can the Audi driver find a way past? Only Audi in the field today with the absence of Matt Spurl.
Can the Audi get into the winner's circle?
Winner circle, not this race. Although, to be honest, if he can stay back kind of where he is here, this like preliminary top 10 area, he will be starting near the front in race 2. So, could be big things.
That's pretty cool. Is there a like a farmer over there in the Dell of Dingley?
Oh, probably. Picking up Andrew D. No offense, Andrew, but you're not really all that close to anybody, although Nicholas Swain is catching him. So Swain's not giving up on that podium yet. Dennis Johnson getting into the backside of the Lincoln Co. of David Sloot, who in turn is overtaking Mauricio Delgado. And Johnson almost comes with him, but Delgado holds the door.
Hold.
Hodor!
That as well. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, your winner, Mike Stoffmule, by way of DQ.
We're going to have a winner pretty shortly here. We got maybe a lap to go after this one, because the time is almost at zeros on the clock. Dennis Johnson all over the back of the Alfa Romeo of Mauricio Delgado, but Mauricio holds for now. In fact, we do have a winner. It is Zerai Garunian. Delval second, D third. That's your podium.
Very nice, well done. I would applaud, but then I'd have to take my hand off press and talk.
That's why we have like the chest thump and so on.
Yeah, I think that's only. No, it's not quite right. You can do the cheek tap, but it's really not. It's still not the same thing.
Here we or just bang on the desk.
No, I don't think that's good either. You're probably gonna get yelled at.
Dennis Johnson falls off the back of the top 10 battle, but he will start second in race 2, so it's not a bad place to be. Steve Davidson will have pole. Wayne Hutchison missing out on the reverse grid, as is Sean Kenny and Richard DeRoche, who had problems. Zach Wolf with a pretty quality 16th place finish for himself. The lone Cupra. Oh no, Andrew D's in the Cupra. The lone DHL Cupra in the field today.
The Supra Dupra Cupra Trupra.
And the last man to finish will be this man here, Brody Steen. Maybe not. I thought the race was over, but it doesn't look like it is.
It's over when I say it's over.
No, these paces do seem a bit slow, so I'm thinking this is a cool down lap. Yeah, there we go. Garunian, your winner from Delval, D, Swain, Jerome, Butler, Nick, Barker, Sloot, Delgado, Johnson, and Davidson. That's the reverse grid, so Davidson and Johnson will lead us away in race number 2. Hutchison, DeRoche, Kenny, Wolf, Steen all finishing, and hopefully Bosch Schilstra is here for the next race. But we'll find out.
Can we confirm if Davidson is using the Donkey Kong bongo controller?
It was Johnson who might be using the controller.
Same thing. Davidson, Jensen, Sean.
Pimping my own channel here. Mio Dread Gaming will be uploading the Showdown with the Rippers, where you can see how we did against King Donkey. Once we are done here.
But you got to show up to see the showdown.
You do. And of course, the first playoff series will finalize itself this Friday on Kodiak Friday Night Baseball. We are one game away from eliminating the wild card. Why am I blanking on the team we played? Firebirds. There we go.
I don't know either. All I know is I already won that series. It's just that the rest of the team didn't show up for part of it.
I mean, it's true. Byron did have an amazing first game, which we lost. He drove in 3 runs, and we lost 4-3.
And then I had to hit 9 home runs in every other game to just try and equal out.
I mean, admittedly, Sonia's keeping up with you for RBIs. You both have 7.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like it. Get some. Doesn't need to just be me leading the league in RBIs. I'm willing to share the glory, but I'm still going to take all the glory because I'm a dick.
You're going to offer the glory and then take it anyway.
I'm going to use it as bait. Come on up here, get some of the glory. No, it was all me the whole time.
Well, most of your main RBI rivals actually didn't make the playoffs, surprisingly enough. So
Yeah.
should be able to win it pretty easily. No Aloha ham steak in the playoffs.
There's some quality names in that game. I can't wait till you start your boy Super Mega Miscos Super Mega Baseball 3, and then we can have. I haven't come up with any more things we can change team names to yet, but I'm sure there's stuff.
Well, there's definitely stuff. There's some new logos in Super Mega Baseball 3 as well, so maybe we'll find something cool. Don't know what I'm gonna go with for our team, but it'll probably be animal themed, I imagine.
Mean Machine.
If I can find a good machine logo, sure. The problem with Mean Machine, at least in Super Mega Baseball 2, is like any logo that kind of fits the Mean Machine idea is. I'm doing the not so great sign with my hand here.
Yeah.
So if I could find like a suitable logo, then absolutely.
Would be Nice Machine then.
Clockwork Machine.
The atomic submarine, formerly known as Dave.
And hopefully there's some new tattoo options, so Doug doesn't have to have that stupid tribal tattoo on his
Oh no, he still has to have that.
That's
not negotiable.
It's his choice.
No, he picked it. It's got to stay.
Yeah, I mean, he is going to pick it again. He enjoys.
Time we're going to put it on your face.
He enjoys that I make fun of this tattoo like at least one at bat per game.
This time, tribal tattoo on your face, and then we're going to say it's because something heritage.
I mean, he's pasty white guy heritage. He's British through and through.
Wow. So we just like paint his whole face blue and say, "Oh no, it's the whole woad thing." You can start saying, "Oh, woad is me."
All right, here we go. It will be Steve Davidson leading from Dennis Johnson with Delgado and Sloot on row number 2. Here we go. Oh no, Wayne Hutchison creeped. He's got himself a drive-through penalty. Meantime, at the front, Dennis Johnson got the jump on Steve Davidson, and actually, I think Sloot's probably also got him as well. So, unfortunately, Wayne Hutchison on the creep will have to serve a drive-through, and in a 20-minute race, that is going to kill his chances, I think. So, Sloot up in a second. Delgado fourth. Scott Nick, Barker, Jerome, Butler, D, Swain, Garunian, Delval. Brody Steen's off to a great start. He's up to 13th already. Ahead of Sean Kenny, Richard Roche. Boss Zylstra is on the grid. Zach Wolf. And making it worse for Wayne Hutchison is he didn't take advantage of the fact that he jumped the start. He tried to correct and tried to stop the car, and he's actually at the back of the pack.
Well, I would recommend that next time he zigs instead of zagging, and then does the triple inverted flip instead of
into Hawthorns we go. John Barker putting all kinds of pressure on Scott Nick, and Scott Nick is getting wide and not in the way you want because he's going to lose a second spot there to James Butler. Both JBs are through, and Double J, Josiah Jerome, is through as well.
Ooh, fat bottom cars, you make the rocking corner go round.
Zachary Wolf off the back of the pack. There is Wayne Hutchison. Is he out of the race? I cannot see from this angle if he is serving the penalty or if he is out of it.
Oh, Hutchie boy. The penalties are calling.
Brody Steen up into 10th place as he overtakes his fellow Hyundai, Nick Swain. Looks like Swain got off to another bad start. So it looks like he is not quite mastered the launch control on these cars. One of the Lincoln Co's going up the inside of the other one. I think that is Garunian overtaking Scott Nick for 8th place. Oh, no, it's not, because that is Garunian in the 100 car. So actually, that was Scott Nick overtaking Garunian. Not sure how I ended up behind him, honestly. Brody Steen looking for revenge here after a 17th place finish in race 1. He's had a great start to this race, having moved up from 17th to 9th. Soon to be 10th, I think, because Garunian is just going to out-drag him to Hawthorns. Maybe. Oh, a little bit of contact. A little nudgy-nudgy. So that's Westfield there, and then into Dingledale. One of the Lincoln Co's off the track. We're looking for who's dropping. It is Butler. James Butler is dropping through the order.
You tell him, Dingley boy.
Down to 15th place. I think Wayne Hutchison might be out of this race.
What a quitter.
Meantime, Steve Davidson, I was going to say he's still in the lead, but he's got David Sloot up the inside of him. And I think Sloot is going to take the lead here for Lincoln Co. And indeed he is. He is through. Dennis Johnson was leading. Down to 3rd place. They approach. Oh, God! Steve Davidson in the wall again at Druids. And he is going to drop through the order as well. So that puts John Barker up onto the podium at home on his home track.
Hold me closer, Tony Danza.
Boss Silstra's already having a better race than he did in race 1, where he was out of the race at this point.
I'm sorry, who's the boss?
Silstra's the boss.
Oh, yeah.
So Sloot and Johnson making a bit of a getaway. They got a cushion back to John Barker, who is holding off Josiah Jerome and Brody Steen. Gunrunner in the mix there, too, in 6th place, race 1 winner. Then it's Delval, who was on the podium in race 1. Scott Nick, Swain, DeRoche. D is back at 11th place, so he has not made a great early impression here. Josiah Jerome losing a spot there. Volkswagen dropping to Hyundai as Gerardo goes through. Or no, that was Brody Steen. Pardon me.
It's a Volkswagen, yeah.
And the Gunrunner also going to bag that Volkswagen in his Lincoln Co. and moves into 5th position. I'm thinking Steen and Grunion have got to be the odds-on favorites right now. Steen's having a fantastic second race, and of course, Sarai Grunion showed great pace in race 1. I just don't know if Sloot and Johnson can get away, but maybe John Barker can buy them some time. Mostly, I don't believe they can get away because it looks like they're very much squabbling over this lead, and it may play into the hands of championship contenders Brody Steen and a man who you got to think would be a championship contender if he hadn't missed 2 rounds, and that's the Gunrunner Zerai. Sean Kenny moving up a spot there, overtaking Richard DeRoche. Old-time rivalry there.
Old-time hockey? Eddie Shore?
Old-time hockey. Ooh, okay, so Sean Kenny or Richard DeRoche, which one's Eddie Shore?
I don't know. Which one's Al McGinnis?
That's a good question. I mean, one is Canadian, so to a degree, I think we have to go with Grande Ricardo on this one. So John Barker's already been passed by Brody Steen, so Steen's up into 3rd place. Barker's now holding off the Gunrunner. And then behind him it is Delval and Josiah Jerome. Was kind of expecting a little bit more from Josiah Jerome when he got a really good start. Race is not over, he's got time, but that Volkswagen has been dropping back through the grid for a while now. John Barker gets wide, and speaking of Josiah, that will move him back up into 6th place as Barker rejoins at 8th place behind Nicholas Swain, who is immediately going on the attack against Josiah Jerome. Actually, Scott Nick also getting through, so down to 9th place for Barker. Well, a little bit of contact. That was Swain getting into the back of Jerome, and then himself getting rear-ended ever so slightly by Scott Nick. These cars are very, very tough. I told the story, of course, of when the Citroen team went into World Touring Cars. They spent literally an entire test session running into each other's wheels to try to break them. So these cars are very sturdy. Richard DeRoche, though, having a bit of a nightmare so far. On the bright side, he's in 12th place, which would be reverse grid pole. Currently on the tail of James Butler with Andrew D behind him. So 3 guys that probably aren't terribly happy with how the race has gone so far.
I mean, it could be worse. They could be on fire and being exported to Abu Dhabi for labor purposes.
Wayne Hutchison's still only 1 lap down, so I think it is possible that he is actually still running. So that's good on him. Much like Brody Steen, he's showing stick-to-itiveness and fortitude.
And I really like the way he does his hair like that.
If you say so.
I don't. I have no idea. I've never seen a picture of any of these people.
We'd have to ask Cole McRae, because he's met Wayne in real life. They work together.
Ah, well, there you go.
It was apparently, to hear Cole tell it, he was in the office one day, and he heard a voice that he recognized, and he went seeking the source of this voice, and when he found the person, he went, "Are you Wayne?" And Wayne said, "Yes, I am."
The Wayne in Spain falls mainly upon the ground.
Never know who you'll, how close people you game with or otherwise associate with online. The most amusing story I, of course, have is, and you were there for that, was when I met Jeremy.
Oh, yeah.
Where are you from? Canada. Oh shit! So am I. Where are you from more specifically? Ontario, more specifically. Toronto area, more specifically. Burlington. I'm in Oakville. Which is right next door to Burlington. For those who don't know their Ontario geography.
It's all Toronto. It's one big giant paved landmass of just Toronto.
Actually, I was having to explain to Dirty Rob that Carson Shreve lives like a 15-minute drive from my house.
Yeah.
The second MMA analyst who replaced Jeremy.
I don't know about replaced.
I mean, he owned the account. He replaced. I didn't say he was as good.
He was basically the Blue World Order of taking over.
Nicholas Wayne going side by side with that is Scott Nick battle for 7th place in Druids. Nick, for the time being, hangs on. John Barker and behind them fighting with Sean Kenny. That's another classic matchup right there. Getting all the classic rivalries here today.
I had a reverse happenstance of that. Was playing some World of Tanks, and Naked All Day happened to be on. So I was like, "Oh, Naked! Hey, what's going on?" You know, just started harassing him, and he gave me his TeamSpeak address and went over there and started talking. And it turns out one of his friends is from my city. And he's like, "Oh," the guy's like, "Really? Oh, you're Prince George. All right, cool. Well, where do you work at?" I'm like, "Oh, at the time was working at London Drugs." And, told him, and he's like, "Are you the really tall guy?" I'm like, "That's me. I am."
I hate to interrupt briefly, but Dennis Johnson was off track there and dropping like a stone.
Well,
but please continue.
If he wasn't using the Intellivision controller, that basically was the story. Like, he immediately could figure out who I was just based on my voice.
You do have a very distinctive voice. One of the Lincoln Co's off the track as well. That is Gerardo Del Val dropping through the order. So, a couple of mistakes coming up here. We've seen a pretty mistake-heavy race. Not in a bad driving sense, just in a. It definitely seems like these touring cars are an absolute handle to handle around this track because there's a lot of sideways rotation going on in some of these corners, and it is David Sloot leading for Brody Steen, who's gotten past everybody basically. The gun runner is up into 3rd, Josiah Jerome into 4th, and I must say, interesting to note that Johnson was off track. That's who's missing from the front that was there before. Scott Nicken up into 5th place, Swain into 6th. That is the battle you're seeing right there. 3-way battle. Sean Kenny trying to find his way through against both not John Barker, Nicholas Swain and Scott Nick. And it is going to be Swain who comes out on top on this particular occasion as they head into Westfields and then into Dingle Dell. Sean Kenny's setting up for possibly a move into Sheen Curve. We've seen a couple of people make overtakes into Sheen, but not this time. It's kind of dangerous. A little bit of contact there with John Barker. Barker in the mix now, as well as James Butler on the back of that one. And then it is Richard Roche, Gerardo Naval, Andrew D, Bass Silstra, Johnson, Delgado, Davidson, Wolf, and Hutchison. That is the back end of the field.
What about Dre? Did you forget about Dre?
Someone forgot that Dre.
My goodness.
Do you know he's still Dre?
He might still be Dre.
Down the inside, Sean Kenny watching this battle between Scott Nick and Nicholas Swain. Swain once again coming out on top in this particular occasion. But he gets a little bit off balance there. Going for it. And that is the Lincoln Co. Scott Nick up into 5th place. For the time being, a little bit of push. A little nudgy from Sean Kenny. And Sean fancies a spot here on Nicholas Swain, I think. See if he can pull it off. Swain moves over to take the defensive line into Hawthorne's. Will hang on for now. John Barker in the background there, as well as Butler and Richard DeRoche. Gerardo not too far off the back of this. Even Andrew D not too far off the back of this.
The D stands for Dolomites.
Actually, my most recent gamer story is, of course, how I figured out who Backstats was.
That was funny.
Oh, Nicholas Wayne getting... Oh, contact! Sideways Lincoln Co. I think that was James Butler. It is Butler. He is tumbling through the order. Nicholas Swain battling with fellow Hyundai Richard DeRoche over 7th place. We've seen just some slight mistakes so far today. And it has been a problem. So DeRoche hangs on for now. That is Delval behind them. And up ahead is the battle between Scott Nick and Sean Kenny over what is now 5th place.
Coming in at 94th at 1/2 place.
Someone getting very wide out there.
Wow, car shaming.
We look back from Richard DeRoche, now being trailed by Delval as Swain falls back. I think it was Swain who got very wide. Delval looking back at Swain as well as John Barker. As it stands right now, pole position for race number 3 belongs to Bas Silstra. What a story that would be. Silstra started dead last here in race number 2. He'll go to the pole in race number 3.
Does he have to dance on it?
I mean, you do a little bit of happy dancing.
All right.
Swain got wide again and is going to lose a spot to Barker and probably Andrew D in the Cupra, and indeed he does. Nicholas Swain has to be kicking himself. It's not that the results here today so far have been bad. It just feels like they could have been a lot better.
But what if they were infinitely worse?
Well, then you'd be very unhappy. The gun runner has caught up to Brody Steen. They both have overtaken David Sloot. And that happened very rapidly, so I'm wondering if Sloot maybe made a mistake that has dropped him back to 3rd place.
Perhaps he did the 1-2-4 quick maths.
Maybe. We got a little over 3 minutes to go here. Probably about... I'm not really sure what... they're doing 131, so... 2 more laps, I would say, probably. Left in this race as the leaders cross the line now.
If they show a lot of hustle, they can do 6.
No, 3 would be the absolute worst.
Well, I mean, sure, if they're just going to give up like that.
Sarai Garunian looking for a 2nd win here. Has managed both these races quite well. There's Nicholas Swain looking to catch up to the top 10 once again, which is held by Andrew D.
Ain't nothing wrong with a little drive and grind.
So touring car trivia fact of the day. Back in 2013, there is a driver named Rene Munich. Now, Rene Munich is the all-inkle businessman. John Barker running the all-inkle livery there. But he also likes to drive. But he is, not in any way what you would call a professional driver. He's a gentleman driver. Brings money to the team and just has fun as a Delville gets covered up by DeRoche. A much richer version of you. He's also a pretty big guy, actually. Pretty big dude, actually. Anyways, he started on a reverse grade pole, or it was like a top 3 reverse grade position, and was talking about how he was just going to move over and let the real racers through, basically. And his teammate, the guy that he employed, 2012 world champion Rob Huff, apparently sat him down in the pit lane with the other guy on the team, Mark Bassing, and we're like, no, you're going to go out there. You're going to race. You do this team proud.
It's like a scene out of Cool Runnings.
A little bit.
Big bad voodoo mother who don't take no shit off of nobody.
I see pride.
Don't remember the whole thing. I used to off by heart back in the day.
My problem is I probably mismatched we'll call it the censored version and the actual version together to the point where I don't necessarily know which is which. I mean, obviously I know what got censored, but they changed a lot of the whole scene.
Your badass mother who don't take no shit off of it. Nobody. I think that's the line. I had a friend with a similar issue back in the day. When Cypress Hill put out Black Sunday, and we were all up on that shenanigans, because quite frankly,
can Brody Steen hang on here? He's going through the last couple of turns here. Last time through Sterling's there, heading to Jim Clark curve, which is the final curve on the track. The gun runner is all over the back of him, looking for that second win. But I believe that it will be Brody Steen heading to the checkered flag and victory circle, trying to catch up with Mike Stoffmill in his absence. David Sloot is going to take home 3rd place ahead of Josiah Jerome. Sean Kenny up in 4th. Good run for the Alfa Romeo driver. 5th for Kenny. Scott Nick, Gerardo Doval, John Barker, Andrew D., Nicholas Swain. I don't want to go too far down because they may not be finished the race yet, and people are still fairly close, but it looks like Richard DeRoche and Boss Silstra will make up an all Hyundai front row here for race number 3. Actually, an all Hyundai front 3 because Nicholas Swain will start from 3rd place. We'll see if he has sorted out his issues with the launch control.
So yeah, my boy Mike, not you, the other one. My first friend Mike, actually. He accidentally bought the censored version of Black Sunday, and I, of course, had the uncensored version, which was weird. Weird because my mom refused to let me listen to the original Bare Naked Ladies album because of the name of the band. So I don't know how I got that worked out, but I knew all the uncensored words, all of them. And he did not, and he would always try and rap the censored version, and I would make fun of him for not knowing what he was doing.
Did you pull what my friend Pat did back in the day when his mother frankly wouldn't buy him any good music,
Nice.
And he convinced her that NIN stood for nice is neat.
Nice.
9 Inch Nails.
Well done.
So there you go. That's how he got his hands on the 9 Inch Nails.
I'm in favor of that. Well done.
So there is your final results. Steen, Garunian, Sloot, Jerome, Kenny, Nick, etc. I covered it pretty well. I don't think anything really changed. And we're on to race number 3. So the Backstaz story, because I kind of alluded to it.
Hilarious.
We gotta bring this back. So me and Byron are watching WGLNA, which is World Tanks, semi-pro league, basically. No one made a living off of it, but closest thing you got to a pro event within the game. And I'm looking at the guy on one of the teams. I'm just like, he looks exceedingly familiar to me. And so we waited until like they were done for the day and whatever, because you know, and I texted him. I texted the guy that I thought he was. I'm like, hey Andrew, what's up? And he's like, not much. I'm out of town right now. I'm like, are you in Russia? And yeah, he was.
Wasn't it the California qualifier?
No, it was the World Finals.
Oh, okay, right. I'm just used to only seeing teams in like the North American qualifiers.
Well, this is back when the World Finals, like North America had 4 spots. They just didn't make it out of the group stages.
Yeah. Josiah Jerome out there being tropically depressed. Well, I got a video to share with him. One of my favorite YouTube channels is called Crime Pays But Botany Doesn't. And this guy's from Chicago, and he fucking talks like a fucking like just like this here. And but he knows a shit ton about
yeah, I know him.
Yeah. So he's been doing things on Hispaniola, one of the islands in the Caribbean. And he refers to Hispaniola as a tectonic clusterfuck.
Oh.
Which caught my ear. So I'm going to have to ask him if that's true.
I suppose my other like random video game encounter was with a guy that I don't know in real life and just know through video games, but I knew him through a different video game than the one that I was playing. I was playing Mech Warrior Online, and I was playing my Gauss Rifleman with the double Gauss rifles. And it's really great for headshotting people because you could snipe like a motherfucker. You put 2 Gauss rounds into the head. So I blew up this Kodiak, taking off its head, which is a gigantic mech, and it took me a moment. It took me a moment. I'm walking around, and it puts like you killed insert, or this person was killed by this person, and it's in the little chat bar down below. And I finally looked down, and I'm like, it's like Mio Z McGracken has killed Nilo Siote. I'm like, oh my fucking god, he was that Kodiak that I took the head off of.
That fucking guy. What a useless piece of human Pearson's.
Also ran into J-Dog in that game.
And then you ran over J-Dog.
He didn't remember who I was because I was playing under, I play under Mio Z McGracken in Mech Warrior. You'd think he would have put together who it was, but he didn't.
Maybe I'll sign up. He'll know who I am.
Seeing as he's been using me as a reference for all of his attempts to get into the underground WGLNA scene, I guess is what you call it. When a game kills its competitive scene to the point where people continue the competitive scene on the forums.
Yeah.
Here we go. So Andrew D will start from 4th place, looking to see what he can do. Nicholas Swain starting from 3rd. I think that second row is very dangerous. Silstra and somebody got a jump.
Well done.
Did you catch who it was that got the penalty there that flashed up on screen? I did not.
It was too quick. It'd be really great if they did the double up like they usually do. There you go.
There we go. Brody Steen! It's Brody.
Fast.
Race 2 winner has got himself a drive-through or a stop-go. I'm not sure what the false start penalty is, but he is in trouble. Andrew D indeed did get up into 2nd place behind Richard DeRoche. Swain got a good start finally. It's been a while. Boss Silstra got a terrible one from pole. He's down to 6th place. Boss, got to work on those starts, my friend. You got to bring the danga to danga there.
Correct.
DeRoche leads from D, Swain, Barker, Delvell, Silstra, Nick, Kenny, Jerome's, pardon me, I was going to say Sloop, but he got overtaken by Garunian. Butler, Johnson, Steen, Davidson. We're missing some people here. We were at 18 cars. We're down to 15. I think we've lost Zach Wolf. We have lost Wayne Hutchison. as they get very aggressive into Dingle Dell, and one of the Hyundais off the track there at the side of the road. I think it's Richard DeRoche, and the race leader has basically lost it. Andrew D has been handed the race lead in the Cupra. He's got Swain and Barker on his tail, and Swain would love to get that first ESR win.
I believe Andrew would find this to be very delightful.
D, D is like, no, you're not taking me in Paddock Hill Bend, my friend. You don't have to work for this one. It'll come to Druids. This is probably the best overtaking spot on the track. And for now, D still holds into Graham Hill Bend. John Barker looking in the background there, licking his chops. Gerardo in fourth. We know he's got pace. Scott Nick up into fifth. Trying to figure out who our other missing driver is while I'm at this. That's Mauricio. We've lost Mauricio Delgado.
But why?
Well, Mauricio probably pinged out. That's unfortunately we were through this before. A common occurrence for him is issues with the internet.
Well, maybe he should just grab all the copper wire in the world and wire himself in hardwire style.
Surprised that we lost Hutchison and Wolf, because normally two guys that soldier through just about anything. And number two guys who usually have fairly solid connections. So I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe some real-life aggros. Andrew D is losing the lead as Nicholas Swain takes the lead. John Barker all over that. Delval all over that. Scott Nick all over that. And even one of the Alfa Romeos in the background of Sean Kenny. We could have any one of these 6 cars in the lead at the end of any one of these turns. That is how close we are. Although right there, Nicholas Swain did kind of jump away in Jim Clark curve and has himself some breathing room as D hangs on against John Barker. The 2 Lincoln Co's in the background. One of them going around the outside. I think that's Delval. And indeed, Delval is challenging Barker for 3rd place. Can he get it done? He's on the outside of Druids. That's not really where you want to be. And it will remain D and Barker 2nd and 3rd ahead of Delval. Delval! Oh, that was almost nudged into a spin by Scott Nick. Further back, Sean Kenny looking to get in on the action. And one of the other Lincoln Co's is caught up. That is James Butler. Actually, not too far off. This is Dennis Johnson in the Audi. Scott Nick getting boxed in. Delval on the attack against John Barker into Hawthorns. Scott Nick's going to lose a spot to Sean Kenny, I think. Indeed, the Alpha is going to move up into 5th place. Still in the mix, though, Scott Nick. He can get back at him. They head through the back section here. Nicholas Swain's got a 1.3 second lead over Andrew D, so he is opening up at the front. D has still got Barker all over his back, and Delval right behind him. Then it is Kenny, who's taking a spot off of Scott Nick. James Butler in the mix, as well as Dennis Johnson and Josiah Jerome in the Volkswagen, who is battling with race 1 winner and 2nd place in race 2, Zarad the Gunrunner Gurunian.
I agree with the above statement.
In fact, the Gunrunner, I think, is going to get Josiah Jerome there for 9th place. David Sloot still in the mix. Steve Davidson not too far off. Jerome not too far, or DeRoche not too far off. Really, it's just Brody Steen and Boss Silstra have kind of fallen out of contention here. Brody, because of the penalty, don't really know what's happened with pole sitter Boss Silstra, but Scott Nick is off the track. Rejoins a little bit sloppily, and that's going to cost him even more spots. A lot of smoke coming up there at Surtees. Wonder if that's a graphical glitch. I know that has happened in race room before. Gerardo Delval looking to get up onto the podium past John Barker. Battle of 2 dudes who have sat in with me on many admin meetings. And also in the mix there is Sean Kenny, one of our server hosts. So a lot of the power structure and the support structure near the front here today for ESR. Oh, one of the Volkswagens way off in the background. Josiah Jerome sideways.
He got power nudged.
Sheen curve once again bites someone. Sean Kenny looking to get past Gerardo Del Val. This is for 4th place. Barker holds 3rd. And Josiah off again. I think that's maybe related to the previous one. He'll slip to the back of the pack.
Oh, yes, well, I am quite tantalizing. That's why they call me Sir Tease.
It's always a little bit depressing to think about the Surtees family in this track. You got one corner here named after John, of course, the legendary patriarch of the Surtees family, and of course his son Henry had his last race here because, well, unfortunately, R.I.P.
I am unfamiliar with any of this, and I will now proceed to make very awkward jokes to cover up my own insecurities.
Go ahead.
No, I'm done. I basically was just going to say that out loud.
Around the outside goes Gerardo, and he overpowers John Barker for 3rd place. Sean Kenny looking for a way through as well. Dennis Johnson having a good run here up in 6th place. The Audi doing well.
Good old
For the
John
back
style.
then it is Butler, Nick, Sloot, DeRoche, and Davidson. Then Steen, Silstra, and Jerome. Another bit of a rough outing here for a Hyundai, although Nicholas Swain in the lead does make up for it a little bit. Sean Kenny looking to get through. Can he do it? He's had a couple of good looks at Barker, but Barker's been able to defend in that Honda. And it's getting complicated for Kenny because now he's got Dennis Johnson on his tail. And if Sean goes too deep into Druids, almost got nudged into a spin. That was an aggressive defense. And if we know anything from Sean Kenny's baseball player, it's that he gets very discouraged when things don't go his way.
Is it perhaps because...
But not today as he moves into 4th place. Oh, nope. Lost it. The camera went away from it, and Barker got it. In fact, he's going to lose a spot to Dennis Johnson. So,
is camera guy, in fact, not following us?
Camera guy is, in fact, not following us and not necessarily loving our nuts.
Seems disrespectful.
A little bit. Made 3 mistakes. 1, took the job. 2, 4-man crew. Fucking disrespectful. 3, empty gun rack. I was having a debate with my friend. We were watching Chronicles of Riddick, and you know the scene where he asks, "Whose ship is this?" And, you know, Toombs is like, "Mine." He gets thrown out. And he's like, "Oh, that was the wrong answer." I'm like, "Was it really though?" Because I mean, if he said it was Riddick's ship, is he not still getting thrown out of the ship? I feel like it seems like the wrong answer at the time, but like I think the end result is actually the same.
At least he respects you in the morning, right? You might still be dead, but he won't think, what an asshole.
I don't know if Riddick respected Toombs or just thought he would be semi-useful with his continual need to hunt Riddick's bounty.
Correct.
I think the only bounty hunter he really respected was Boss Jones and Hospital.
Yeah, I would say that's accurate. That is one of my favorite moments in movie history. My name is John. You're like, oh no, oh no, this just took a turn.
Oh, Sean Kenny trying to find a way through. In fact, it's Dennis Johnson taking John Barker, and Johnson up into 4th place. If he is running on a controller, and I don't think he is, but if he is on a controller, he's had a fantastic run. But one of the Lincoln Coast just got past the Alfa Romeo, and that is the Gun Runner suddenly finding himself up in 6th place, although he dumps it to the outside of Jim Clark Curve, and in fact will probably lose a spot there to Scott Nick. David Sloot runs in 9th place.
Jim Clark.
Oh! That's Dennis Johnson in the Audi taking a header on Paddock Hill Bend. That's a tough corner in any car. Never mind the front-wheel drive touring cars, and never mind if he is, in fact, not using a wheel. 8.5 minutes to go.
Confused with the Dave Clark 5.
What kind of curve would you want? What kind of turn would you want named after you, Larry?
Something make people like turn my name into a swear word.
So something very difficult.
I'd like a double hairpin at some point, like an S,
okay.
but the tightest S you've ever seen.
Okay.
And people would be like, "Fucking Dixon!"
There's a turn like that in Dubai, actually. Not Dubai. No, it is Dubai. Yeah, Dubai Autodrome. Whoa! Scott Nick gets sideways. He had contact with one of the Alfa Romeos. That's Sean Kenny, judging by the fact that he is the one losing positions. And just when you think this race is starting to settle down, it's not. The front is a little bit settled right now, with Nicholas Swain leading by about 2.5 seconds over Andrew D. But Del Valle is charging. John Barker is still in 4th place somehow, despite constantly being under pressure when we look at him. And then is the gun runner Sloot. Davidson's up to 7th place. Good race for him so far. Richard DeRoche, Sean Kenny, Brody Steen, despite the drive-through penalty or the stop-go penalty or whatever it was for the jump start, up into 10th place ahead of Dennis Johnson, Boss Silstra, Scott Nick, Josiah Jerome, and James Butler is a lap down, so he may have pitted for some damage or found himself into some other kind of trouble.
I like the helicopter shot.
There's a corner on the Dubai Autodrome that sounds a little bit like you're calling for there. Me and Javier, I don't know what its actual name is, but me and Javier, when we were racing, they were calling it Big Lies.
Oh, that one.
Because it looks so harmless. You're like, oh, that's not so bad. That's an easy looking turn. Why am I pointing the wrong way? It's got a non-visual perceptive camber to it that just makes the car want to break loose. Makes it just so much worse.
Break loose? Hamilton?
Break loose.
Turn me loose. Turn
Foot
me
loose.
loose. I gotta do it my way. Oh, highway, you bum. Right? That's how that goes.
Oh, contact between Andrew D. and Gerardo Daval, and that is going to get 2nd place for Gerardo. John Barker is back under pressure again. He had a brief reprieve for about a lap there, but now the gun runner wants 4th place. Andrew D. probably not super happy. That was a bit of a bump pass that Del Valle pulled on him, which, to be honest, totally legal in touring cars. Touring cars is one of those examples of everybody has heard the axiom rubbing is racing. Well, touring cars do believe that is the case. So Andrew D on the tail through Westfields, through Dingle Dell, and Sheen Curve. Sheen Curve is a little bit horrifying because it's basically a blind sweeper into Sterling's. Looks like D got that after Del Valle got a little bit wide at Sterling's, but it hasn't really resolved itself. And it will be Del Valle on the inside of Paddock Hill Bend, D on the outside. Not a great place to be. Del Valle is going to have the inside for the next 2 turns, unless he can pull a cut back, and he might have. A little bit of a nudgy. Del Valle is now lost the inside line, but he moves across to defend and continues to hang on to 2nd place against Andrew D. Nicholas Swain is loving this because everybody is just falling back at him. He's now got a 4.2 second lead.
Yeah, and there he's swaying back and forth because he's as drunk as a bastard.
All right, who do you think takes it? Will it be D or will it be Delval who wins this battle?
I think Brody Steen is going to con everybody into taking 93 penalties and then just take it.
I mean, that would help. If 93 penalties got thrown out here, I think it would be a pretty good day to be Brody Steen if he's not one of those with the penalties.
Das ist korrekt.
Gotta say, Brody Steen took a jump start penalty and has actually worked his way back up into 10th place. So he's had a pretty solid race.
I don't know what the hell happened there, but for an instant, your volume went up to like 90,000%, and then quickly went back down.
Oh boy, I don't know what to make of it.
I don't know. There's like, what? What the fuck? Am I deaf?
I assure you, I did not like randomly yell into the microphone.
It was definitely a software and or hardware issue. That was maybe even your internet maybe slowing down a little bit, and then what happened? What had happened?
It's possible.
What had happened was you hit a little bit of a bottleneck, and then the volume just went. Rah!
Could be. I was noting some random echoey moments while I was editing some Kodiak baseball earlier. Aforementioned King Donkey episode.
The Kongs of Dunk.
The Kongs of Dunk. The KD instead of the DK. Right on board with Sarag Grenian running in 5th place. Still has not found a way past John Barker. Barker resolute in defense, stoic. We'll have another 2 laps to go of this defense, probably. Honda versus Lincoln Co. Looking to the outside of Sterling's. I don't think that's really on. I can't really recall a ton of successful outside overtakes at Sterling's. We'll head towards Paddock Hill Bend, one of the more impressive turns because of the elevation change, as well as the camber of the turn coming up here. And hopefully this onboard does it justice, but looks like Garunian got a little out of shape there. Had some contact with Barker, but he does get through. Barker trying to come back at him at Druids. And there's a Lincoln Co. in the background that is David Sloot. Oh no, where'd Barker go? I think Barker either lost it or there was a little bit of contact there, or we just can't. No, we just can't see him. He's still there. Lost him in the rear view.
I believe Barker went up the wrong tree.
And David Sloot now in this mix in this battle for 4th place, which is now held by the gun runner. How far are they off the podium? About 6.1 seconds? Probably not going to be able to take a podium here.
No, with that attitude.
Well, if anyone can do it, it's probably the gun runner. Meantime, Andrew D still battling with Gerardo. Nicholas Swain up in front, 4.7 seconds. This is going to be the last lap, I think. Thought we were going to get one more earlier, but that is Sterling's and then Jim Clark curve, and there are zeros on the clock. So Nicholas Swain going to be coming across the line with the race victory here from Gerardo Daval and Andrew D. John Barker hanging on against David Sloot. By the way, Garunian must have made a mistake because he's behind both of them now. There's the Alphas and Brody Steen. Sean Kenny is in the intact Alpha, and the slightly agape bonnet belongs to Steve Davidson, who takes home a very solid 7th place ahead of Sean Kenny and Brody Steen. Richard Drochet rounding off the top 10. That is going to be a little bit of a gap back to Dennis Johnson, but I think he will take it. He's got 1.3 seconds on Boss Silstra. And there it is, actually. Dennis Johnson will take 11th ahead of Boss Silstra. Scott Nick 13th. Josiah Jerome cruising around. A bit of a rough day for him, it looked like. And it looks like James Butler did retire the car. And is 6 laps down. So, Byron, we're just waiting for Josiah Jerome to finish up here. What were your thoughts on the race?
I thought that it was a hotly contested hootenanny that deserves enshrining upon the Hall of Fame of this day in racing.
I do largely agree. It was a fantastic race. There was a little bit of contact, but again, this is touring cars, and for better or worse, you expect a little bit of contact with touring cars.
I like to view that as for better. I can show you some squirrels.
I can show you the atmosphere. So you can see the final results there, and I'll read you down the standings here. As we head towards Silverstone next, staying in Britain for round 5. Mike Stockmill leading the way with 204 points. Brody Steen on 157. Zerai Garunian and Gerardo Daval are tied at 117 apiece. 109 for Sean Kenny. Dennis Johnson on 97. 73 for Scott Nick and Josiah Jerome. David Sloot and John Barker are both on 66. And then rounding off the field, Nico Swain, Richard DeRoche, Andrew D, James P. Butler, Luciano Chazzo, Steve Davidson, Lachlan Nichols, Matt Spurl, Liam Curtin, Martin Emmons, Cristiano Pinheiro, Ezekiel Shermanando, Mauricio Delgado, Wayne Hutchinson, Zach Wolf, and then everyone else has only done one event, so I am not going to particularly cover how they are doing so far.
Wow, disrespectful.
I mean, until they start showing up on a regular, I mean, they're not in the standings right now.
Is it just because they are bad at racing? Do you think they're just ashamed to?
No, some of them are quite good racers. All right, so I said we were going to show Mr. Byron the new look ESR, not ESR, but WTCR cars. So, Byron, if you'll kindly follow this link.
I refuse. Okay, I'll do it.
So there is the 2020 car pack, and if you click on each one, you can see the different, or actually, if you just scroll down to pack content details, they have all the liveries there.
Pack content details, you say? Don't see that anywhere, but okay. I mean, there are some liveries right here.
Well, there's a bunch of them towards the bottom.
Well, I am. Yeah, that's where I am. I don't know about a bunch. There's like 6, 7.
Oh, yeah. They don't give you the pack content details. Interesting.
Well, I mean, I'm not one of them. What you call customers.
Well, I'm not logged in either, so I figured I would see exactly what you see, but apparently I don't.
Is there a button? Can we make this longer and more awkward? That'd be great.
Well, if you click on the car, you can see the liveries for the car.
Oh, well, I mean, I can, like I said, I can see the liveries right here.
There's different ones. Like there's 4 different
per each.
Yeah.
Oh, they got little paintbrushy things. Okay, gotcha. Mm-hmm. Let's see if I click that paintbrushy thing that says 33 on it. Nope, not gonna do what I want. All right, let's try and open these individually, and I will be able to perhaps tell you. Okay, there's 2 of those. Is that rig? Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool.
Some of them are all the same. Like the Renault Megans are all the same. So,
dang Mergansers.
Kind of boring.
The Zengos.
I like the Zengos.
There's a lot of green going on in there. Yeah. Any one of the top 3 row, that'd be good. The rest of them are kind of whatever. I like those. You boys, the Honda, the All-Enkel de Munchausen de Motorors. Kind of boring, honestly.
I mean, I'm kind of disappointed that the Red Devil Hondas are gone. Apparently, that team shut down, unfortunately.
Yeah, Diablo. Yeah, the All-Enkel de Munchausen's, whatever. I've seen. Throw more colors at it, why don't you? Let's see. The Hyundai, BCR Hyundai of the lung coils are fine.
I like the Target SRL Hyundai.
The number 28 there?
Yeah, the 28 specifically.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. It's all right. I mean, at least they consulted with somebody who knows what colors are. Like if we put the navy blue with this shade of red and a little baby blue in there, it'll be pretty good. And they're not wrong.
There's also a green version of it there.
The number 28 right in the center.
Yeah.
That one, I think that one's pretty damn good. And then the bottom row is pretty good. Other than that, it's kind of whatever. You got your boy, the Cyan Performance Lank and Company. They're all the same. So what the fuck?
It's all the same team. So
the Volvonic Motorsports are all the same, but that's pretty good. I like the dark with the gold wheels. That's not bad. I like it. The Dave Mustaine SLRs are fine. It's red and white. What do you want?
Does look better than the previous alphas, so at least they're
Correct.
heading in the right direction. At least
the DHL cars of the Coyote Racing Team, fine. I mean, the DHL regular ass logos on there looks pretty standard. It's not a bad livery. I don't know what they're doing with the other ones. I wouldn't recommend it, but you do you, fam. And that's my thoughts on all of them liveries.
Well, we have the Byron breakdown of the liveries. So if you want love from the Byron, the green Zengos are a good option.
I'm done with the dark green. Pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And there were some Hyundais that sound like you were a little bit impressed by. Or at least
I like the dark ones with the gold wheels. Other than that, it's pretty standard. We don't really know what we're doing. We just have some colors and we threw them on the car.
Anyways, do you have any final thoughts before we sign off here?
I want to see more hit to pass.
I think we're seeing a lot of it.
Well, I mean, I'm encouraging it to happen. Like, come on, boys, give her.